Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sorry that I haven't been uploading much, been very busy, and as well as the next video I wanted to upload Lawkeeper. I've been having some trouble getting some good games in, so please look forward to that. Hopefully I'll have it out by before the end of the year. Today I just want to talk about what to expect for the upcoming premium panelists. In case you don't know, in the previous, uh, okay, in the most recent, not product video, presentation, yeah. In the most recent visual presentation, actually, they didn't reveal during the presentation, they just revealed it after in the Twitter post. However, either way, they said that the premium ban list will come out sometime in early December, and well, currently is December 2nd, and and at this point, we're all just expecting and wondering when the ban list will be coming in and what to expect for it. Today, I decided to just go over what I think should be on it. Alright, mm, truth be told, well, I have this, but truth be told, I don't pay that much attention to competitive premium. And I do know some basics about the current format, like the prevalence of decks, and some other wacky combo stuff that's in here, that's in the format. Uh, I have I'm not going into this completely blind. Like I have obviously talked it out with others. So I decided to just quickly upload the video talking about my expectations on and what I hope for on this ban list. To start off, I'm going to be referencing a lot lists, a lot of premium lists, which I got off of Bushiroad's new event page, where they have where this season they have started to track each event in more detail, and sorry, it's so slow, and it is actually doing their keeping similar to what Fuzzy has been doing on Vanguard Paradox. So here you can see standard and also the premium tops. Hold on. Sorry about that. But essentially, they are keeping track of the standard and premium tops as well as other things. So definitely a very beneficial change that I appreciate this season. So without further ado, let me go into what I believe should be on this ban list. First off, uh, without any question, Failure of Decay. This is definitely the number one thing people think of when they're asked about premium loops. I believe this deck aims to do, yeah, it aims to stack, I believe, yeah, it aims to stack red, it aims to stack two bottom stack Valnot crit, and then just swing, uh, I believe, four times, yeah, no, not four. Yeah, I believe, yeah, and the aim to swing four times. I keep on saying four, three times with a 100 million, uh, three, Actually forfeit Vanguard under Amaruta, Sentinel restrict that says that your opponent can't call Sentinels from hand. So two of those attacks are from Valnot, and the third is from Reckler, which copies the power and critical of a unit. So you can just copy Valnot and all the criticals on the unit that you gave Valnot to. And so this deck aims to just soul charge the entire deck and then bomb stack uh, this combo. And, and technically, it is, you can, however, I guess the easiest way to explain is that you can get around not being able to call Sentinels from hand. There are plenty of cards that allow you to superior. There are other cards that allow you to superior call a PG from outside of the hand. I think the problem is that this deck aims to do it essentially as soon as it rides up, giving the opponent no chance to actually find the answers to this. Uh, there's also uh, no, that's I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it for the deck. Like it's just prevalent enough that it's the number one thing everyone thinks of when they talk about loop decks. The number two thing, once this page loads, is Shout Loop. Yeah, this deck aims to deck out the opponents using screaming and dancing and also shout. So forcing the opponent to either draw or either forcing the opponent to either draw one or soul charge one. And every time you activate shout, and you can, and because shout isn't a once per turn, you can easily restand him with something like Scarlet Bird, which restands the whole board. You can use Arnis to also stand it. Uh, you go and Petite Ace as well, which is apparently also not once per turn, just as long as you have the CB for it, right? Uh, you can you also use Spurt Centaur to be bouncing Scarlet Bird or Petite Ace when actually on Petite Ace only stands one, and you ideally want to be standing shout. So yeah, it's just Scarlet Bird that you use to withstand shout, and then Centaur to bounce back to Scarlet Bird, and then you use shout again to be generating soul and such. They're also running Valtrosa and Secondel because every time you do loop, you also uh, lose out of deck by one, so you do need some cards to put back. And lastly, this loop is, uh, I believe what's the term, non-deterministic, uh, because like while this is the general loop, there are some side actions you may take, like calling Valtrosa or using Arnis. So you so you can't actually shortcut uh, the loops. Like you will have to do every iteration, and like every time you want to restand shout, you have to be continually doing that, which can definitely drag out a game. So even if you don't even if you don't successfully deck them out, you could still end up in a situation where you just get a double loss for timing out. And then the rest of and then G Zone is mostly for surviving long enough and also playing the game a bit until you can actually do your shot loop. No, I just realized I haven't been saying what I'd like for what I'd like Bushy to hit for them. Uh, for Fenrir, uh, Valencia might be a good hit since that's the main way they're using to bomb stack it. They could also hit Groot, which is their mass soul charge. Alright. Oh yeah, right. And then the other aspect is that they're using greedy so that so even if the opponent hits OT, these the crits that are boss stacking instead of giving 10k power, they're giving like 45k. But yeah, ideally, I'd like to see uh whoever cards they use to bomb stack it, or they hit all the mass soul charge options. Uh, for uh, Also a third solution, just ban this over trigger. Actually, not just the over trigger, just ban all over triggers. They are not good for this game. For shout loop, honestly, you can just hit shout, like just ban it outright, and then just deck completely dies. Hard to mail out the opponent when your build card is at 0. For this next deck, is the Gold's GB8 loop, uh, which aims to deck out the opponent using Nahalnia. Uh, I kind of remember how this loop works. So essentially, once you're at GB8, you can give this effect to your rearguard that at the end of battle the attacker boosted. You can look at the top two cards of your deck and then call one of them to rearguard circle. Oh. And then you can give that effect to Dindrain, whose effect is that at the end of the battle it boosted. If you have an Ezel Vanguard, you can bot deck the unit that it boosted and stand itself. So essentially, the, then Drain plus the GB8 creates an infinite combo where every time she boosts, she can call something off the top two cards of your deck. You can then combine it with I'm forgetting the card. Was it this? No, I believe it might have been Drilling Angel or something. Like I believe the loop is between the Drain, Nahalia, and Drilling. Thing, but essentially you are able to put back the Nahalia. You can use drilling to, I guess, put Nahalia for drop to soul, then call back Nahalia from the top of the deck, and then you boost with Dinjane again. And though at some point you have to be putting Drilling Angel back into the cycle, but that's mainly just the main core, but and essentially it's just another deck out loop in the format. One thing is that this deck is easily outable. You can just call, uh, I believe, no, you can't keep colonies on board since the colony can bot while milling you out. So you can just use two Hollies, and I believe that just cooks this deck for the most part. Alright, mainly because this loop happens in the battle phase, and you need to be able to boost within drain, which means that you have to be able to attack at some point, not at every point, which Honolulu can easily punish. Yeah, so that's basically Yezel. Goes GB8 loop. For what to hit, uh, I think is the crack hit is most likely just the GB8. Like it is the main enabler. Uh, I guess then drain. Mm, I think they might prefer to hit the GB rather than drain. And even if so, I guess then drain technically creates loop with the no, well it could, but that's very randomized. Yeah, I think the main hit is just hit the GB8 and you successfully nullify the loop. Up next, uh, Alden loop. I'm still not exactly sure how this loop works. I think you, you use lading skill to put on Alden, Alden the Vanguard, and because of Alden is continuous, when you call a card off of using lading skill, the overcalled unit goes back to hand, and then you can end up using that to loop Nahalnia again. But maybe perhaps the solution is to just hit Nahalnia as well. You know, like just ban like I get yeah like for the ones that aim to put you in a possible situation guard you can just you can either hit the deck stacking or you can just hit the card that's making it impossible to guard. Not actually no. No, you do just have to hit the deck stacking. And then for these deck out loops, you can just hit the card that's actually making the opponent to deck out. Up next, this isn't like the previous loop where aims like in the case of Fenrir, there it was attacking with three impossible to guard swings along with a sentinel restrict. These are just spell loops. In Spike's case, the issue is the GBA, as you can as the GBA gives the skill to all units that at the end of battle attack you can put that unit and a card from hand into soul to call any card from deck, and so you what you can do end up doing is mm, that you can use Orien's second skill to draw a card and then use the drawn card to fuel uh, Hellheart 8. And you can also do a similar thing with Beastper. And then at the end of the line, you can use Skydiver to put back cards. But I'm forgetting the exact things about the loop, but essentially you use Beastper's skill. Yeah, use Beachbird's skill. Hell Art 8, Call Oriens, Soul Blast, the Beach Sport and Oriens that you put into Soul in the previous loops. And then you can actually no hold on, but yeah, so like let's say you start with Oriens, you use Orien's skill to draw a card, All right, so then you can you start with one of these, but essentially you use Skydiver to put back Orients and Breach Spurts. You can use Breach Spurt to put back Orients and Skydiver, and then Orients is Soul Blast the copies of Skydiver and Breach Spurt into Soul. It that are in Soul into drops, so then Skydiver can then and then you can go back to Breach Spurt, reset the Skydiver, and then Skydiver can set back the Orients and Breach Spurt. So yeah, this just turbos to its GBA, and then technically, uh, you do lose one card in hand per Skydiver you call, and you are also these are blind draws, so technically, so you are just reducing your deck with no way to refill it mid combo. So at some point, or after going through this combo loop, you will just start drawing your combo pieces and be unable to actually reset them back into your deck and eventually just deck out. The issue is that theoretical limit it still allows for like at least 60 attacks, possibly 80. You, all on the same circle, by the way. So uh, you can be stacking force markers. Like you can use V Rising to stack force one and force two on the same circle. So it's like 60 to 80, possibly and most definitely more attacks. Swinging for like, what, around 30k to crit. Alright, the GBA also gives 10k. So like even if you just ride V Rising, Breach Spurt, which is the smallest of the swing, would be swinging for 30k to crit. Orients would be swinging for 35, and then Skydiver for 33. Actually, no, 43 because he also gets power. Uh, so yeah, you just end up comboing them into death. No, there's no like guard restrict or anything. It's just 60 to 80 attacks is not something that any premium deck could actually handle. You can definitely run Harmony. The problem is that they have a P-Chan in deck which can be used to remove Harmony skill. Cool. And even if you double Harmony them, they can still just stall out the game because Violence Ace this is a small image. Let's go to your TCG summit, but uh Violence Ace, you can just CB1 draw 7 cards. Well, it probably won't be exactly 7, but you can just draw a boatload of cards while you wait for the harmonies to die out. And I think it might be still possible to do the loop under double harmony by using tier. Now I think how many Queen elementals is this offering? One, two, three. Okay, yeah. So then you can use tier to countercharge three, and then do the loop. Yeah, for it to hit, I think just hit the GBA. Again, it's a situation where if you just hit the playmaker, then the deck dies. And then the last deck I want to talk about, once you finish loading, drumroll please. Green and blue, which honestly, compare to all these other decks, it's definitely a lot tamer. This is just Crest Night Rose. Like this, this specific list of Grand Blue is definitely a lot tamer. However, I am aware that there are a lot of Grand Blue lists, not lists, Grand Blue loops, like the Magnolia Infinite, and, and I think there's not just one. I think there's like 3 to 4 Grand Blue loops. Yeah, there's Mag Infinite. There's um, I'm forgetting the card. Flanger. I'm just hoping the TCG sent. Yeah, yeah. There's Flanger where you can do the same thing as Fenrir, just ball stack, OT, quick trade, and then swing with Flanger, and stop your opponent from actually being able to guard. Just stop your opponent from being able to guard for the most part. Uh, I can't remember the third or fourth ones. There might be just variations of the Magnolia Infinite. Actually, I wonder if I could find it. Oh, it's been a while since I last saw it. But I think outside the Granblue list, the other problem with Granblue is that it honestly they just have too many good cards. How do I best explain it? How do I best explain it? Beatrice, honestly, still best one. Call any card from drop is definitely an issue. Skull Dragon is honestly fine. Like he's just a big dude that you either just PG or no guard. Night Storm, is just CB1 multi attack. Columbard is technically CB1 multi attack and also uh helps drop. Ghost Ship is just a free draw engine with the amount of revives you can get in this with the amount of revives you can get in this deck. Uh, Jesse the Ghosty is just free counter charge. Let's see. Oh, Navigator. Definitely a problem with how fast you can just be milling your deck out. Bell. I think Bell is just here for the for against Narukami. Negrabone. Uh, Actually, yeah, might be issue. Like it's just another free call from drop. Oh, Grenache, definitely, I'd say is a problem. Just like even though the counter charge is delayed, it's still just you can just call off of any effect near the end of your bout, near the end of your attacks, then just refund and two counter charge. And, looking at the G zone, Big Obadiah just set up your entire drop all only for CB1. Bartholomew also definitely a problem, forcing your opponent to have to call 3 more at the same time. and especially when you're using Skull Dragon a lot, it's just a lot to demand for. Bad Bounty, being able to rewrite any grade 3 from drop, I do believe it does have its issues. It, I'm forgetting the use case, but I think there's definitely not. Alright, Oriana, be able to just neg crit, like your opponent could be attacking for like 2, 3 crit, and Oriana could just say no. Check crits or this attack does nothing. Uh, I can't remember what Necronora was used. But either way, I do think Grand Blue has reached a point where it just has too many good cards, and even if you just hit them one by one, you would still see Grand Blue. Like, just like in the theoretical scenario where Bushy hits every single loop in the format, including the ones in Grand Blue, I think Grand Blue would still sizably be the best deck in the format. Alright, Chris. Uh, this is just an aside, but honestly, I do think they should have just banned Crest outright instead of choice restricting them with the ride, with the most played ride. Like it just creates like in the case of Harry, they can essentially G flip twice in a turn with I believe Dark Side Princess. Yes, and you can just easily scale uh, upwards the GB counts that the crest just gives a bunch of power to all their attacks. Yeah. Going back to Grand Blue as 4 to hit. Honestly, might just be everything. Like on yeah. So I'm just all right. I guess yeah. Along with a lot of the problem cards, they'll just ban the loop enablers, and that's pretty much all the decks I wanted to talk about today. I guess one deck that I was also considering that might need a hit is Naru, with Eradicators. Unfortunately, I still don't know enough about Premium to know if Rads would be a problem after the ban list hit. If you do think so, please feel free to let me know in the comments. But I believe that's it. I so I hope you guys will have a great day. They hopefully they do actually address the format in a meaningful way. If the ban list comes out and it's just herder uh like they just barely hit any of the columns, then this format is honestly cooked. Like especially for worlds. Like some like uh like like I mentioned some of the Grand Blue Infinites, but I haven't seen a list for them. Probably because they're aiming to just get just get a uh, I haven't seen them. I do know they exist. I haven't seen the actual deck list, and I do feel like they do need to be hit in some way. Otherwise, premium finals will just be uh, who can get off the loop first. Would be yay. Yeah. But yeah, that'll be all for today. Thank you for watching and have a great day.